practiced, let them frame as many questions on a paragraph given para-unseen passage as they can. Let them frame. In the beginning, this exercise may be tedious. This may be very useless and frustrating, but as soon as the student does 1, 2 or 3, 4 exercises, 3, 4 paragraphs he exercises, and he is successfully making questions and getting answer. If you see that, if so many questions are framed and the answer is received, is there anything left in the sentence that is not understood? Everything is understood only by way of framing question and deriving answers from out of it. So by way of question answer, by making here the student is learning question framing, answering, that is useful in other elsewhere as well. And that is useful that everything he is going on understanding in the sentence as well. So this exercise, I am giving just the small miniatures of these skills because as for the time. So this exercise can be introduced in the class, but you know that this needs different steps to be followed. First of all, they should know the sentence forms, the sentence form or tense form, basic tense forms. Then models we can teach, model sentence forms, then passive forms. These are 3 basic chapters I think of grammar that introduce the basic sentence forms in English. And other chapters are using these forms and then making longer sentences. So when they have commanded over these forms, then you come to these exercises in question form, then WH question form, and they have all exercises, let them imply it, let them use it for on some unseen passage and thereby trying to understand the meaning. Let them frame such questions on literature reader passage as well. One paragraph you need 4 or 5 lines. Let them make as many questions as they can.
But sir, there is one question.
Yes.
While you are doing like this, it will hamper the reading. So it is not very
Yes, you are right. He is right. This will hamper the reading.
Yes.
Certainly, as I said, in the beginning, this will certainly hamper. But as soon as this becomes the part of your mind and thinking and part of the process of the thinking of the student, as soon as he go on reading, the questioning and answering is automatically going on in his mind. And this becomes a process of mind, and as soon as he is reading, he is getting the answer.
because Professor
May I
Verma,
give you the answer, sir?
yes, sir.
It may hamper the reading, but it will strengthen the
Yeah, of
child
course,
to learn
of course.
grammar.
In
It may hamper the reading. He is dealing
in
with the-
CIFL,
Yes.
Professor
Yes,
Verma
one by
was-
one.
yes, you can say
You are right, myself, you are also right, he is also right, sir. But one
CIFL and CIFL, he was speaking like this.
yes, one thing I would say here,
He is concerned with developing
Professor S.K.
grammar.
Verma.
He is grammatical stability.
Professor S.K. Verma, grammarian, that's given in India.
You are 100% correct. It will certainly hamper reading skill,
Okay.
but it
There
will
is a
develop
difference.
grammatical skills.
okay sir, let him
The
say.
users of grammar finally teach our help our students to speak correctly and speak and they express their ideas very correctly. If someone is not going through the grammar, how can he or she speak correct or express correctly? It is a thing.
Actually, they proceed.
So may I give the answer?
Yes. Okay. Let him give the answer.
So far as native speaker is concerned,
Yes.
in the family,
Yes,
there may be 3 years, 4 years or 5 years old child. He or she does not know ABCD of grammar,
Yes.
but he or she can speak fluently
Yes. As we
Mother
do in
tongue
Hindi.
in mother tongue.
In their
Yes.
mother tongue.
Why not we can teach English in that manner so that a
Very
child
good.
can speak
Very good, sir. You are welcome to do that. That is why I said in the beginning that direct method is the remedy of that. If you are successfully doing that, there is no need of doing such things. Certainly not. Yes, sir.
I am. We can teach English in that manner, but the problem is
language is missing from that concept.
Yeah. It is not mother tongue, no?
You took the example of Hindi. Hindi is being spoken widely in the homes, in the surroundings, in the neighborhood,
That is
in the
very
society,
different.
in the market, wherever the child is.
Like language.
And he gets the chances to listen to that. So the child is getting sufficient exposure of listening to that particular language. And that's why the child is able to imitate the language and to repeat the language. But that scope is not available in English. As I told that English is a secondary language. Right? So either you provide that concept
second language.
Second language.
Second
Either you provide that concept.
Yes, yes, I understand my both your point. I am giving these alternative ways, certainly, remember that. If you are able to teach, if you are able to create the environment of English in your class, for your student, and your students are learning it without aid of grammar, that is well and good. You are a very good teacher.
But most of the English teachers nowadays do.
That is the situation. You know your situation better. And if your situation does not suffice to teach the students the language that way, then we have to take the another way, that is this way. This is another way. Okay. So thus, if you are okay, I have taken as example only reading. Speaking, in case of speaking, we have already cited examples, and then in case of writing, too, certainly that is speaking and writing both are of the same line skills, that is output. So expression in speaking, if the student is able to speak correctly, certainly he will be able to write correctly. The same method, the same way can be applied. Thus, infuse accuracy. Thus, this way, we can infuse in our students accuracy, ease, and confidence by teaching grammar, by employing grammar for skills, for language purposes. Teaching grammar for language. Grammar is always for language. One thing also should be remembered that, would you tell me whether language came first or grammar came first? Certainly, language came first. So language would be take priority always. Grammar is for language. Where there is some problem in language teaching and learning, then grammar is there to help you. Otherwise, grammar is not useful at all if the learners are learning the language without grammar. Okay, sorry. Oh, common errors that we have. Okay, now this I would ask you people. What forms can I think that what forms can forms mistakes?
Yes.
Common mistakes.
Yes.
Even you must have observed that students write sentences without verbs.
Yes, sir. Or past and future both together.
Yes. Everything mixing. Huh? Jivedi sir is there. He makes jokes. See, venting. So no problem. Work form mistake is so common. And models, you know that there is so much misunderstanding, so much confusion, what grammar, what purpose, what meaning, and in the use of models as well, they make mistakes. And then passive form, sometimes what happens, in place of active form they use passive form, in place of passive form they use active form, and the meaning just opposite, just reverse.
Yes.
Huh?
And a
Child,
passport
a tiger killed a child, tiger killed a child, child killed a tiger, child was killed by a tiger, and child killed by a tiger, child killed a tiger. You see that what a miraculous situation if the child does not know or he or she is not using active and passive or passive forms correctly in proper context and proper situation. Here you see that if you see the workbook of class 9th or 10th, somewhere I have seen a topic is there in your book in the end of the chapter of passive, clarity and style. Means by judicious mixture of active and passive, you are narrating something. You can ensure clarity to in your expression and you can maintain a style. There is not much scope to discuss all these things, but suppose let me quote one example here. Suppose you are describing the visit of some dignitary. Okay? Some dignitary visited your school, some function was there, and there was some presiding dignitary, or you celebrated your birthday and you need to describe, give a descriptive narration of that celebration of the birthday or Independence Day. You want to highlight the name of the presiding dignitary, then whatever presiding dignitary did that you write directive wise so that his or her name comes in writing and it is highlighted, and whatever you did you write in present form, remove your name, that purpose is fulfilled. If your birthday is celebrated and your name does not come anywhere in the description, that is useless. Everything your father did, my father did this, my father did that, my mother did that, then where you were, what you were doing. It was birthday of your birthday or mother's parents' birthday. That is confused, no? So parity and style should be there in exception. If the situation context says that you celebrated your birthday and you need to describe your birthday, you have to narrate it. Certainly the narrations must aim, it must highlight the important VIP of the function, VIP of that occasion, that is whose birthday is being celebrated. If this is the attitude, then you will adopt. And if you really want to have some malintention, you want to suppress that name if you are writing under birthday celebration. With malintention you want to suppress that, okay, no doubt. You change the style. Whatever he did, you write it passage. Whatever you did, you write it active. Your name is highlighted. So clarity and style. Okay. What is one thing what I want to point out. In test forms we use many different helping verbs. Models are also helping verbs, modal auxiliaries and primary auxiliaries we all know as teachers. How do you teach the distinction between the two to your students? Can you tell me a basic difference?
Models and other auxiliaries or models?
Models and primary auxiliaries. Difference between model.
Actually, primary auxiliary they change as per the situation, but
The helping verb, auxiliary verb changes, but model does not change.
for the permanent model they shall remain as it is. Whether
Permanent is 10, those 10 models.
Yes, that's right.
So auxiliary verbs are to form tenses, but model auxiliaries are to express attitudes. That is one thing. Other thing is that other auxiliaries are guided by the subject, but model auxiliaries are not guided by the subject or tense, both the things.
Model auxiliaries are also known as defective verbs. It is not complete in itself. It cannot form sentence by itself.
Yes, sir. And
Very
auxiliaries
good.
can be
Different
used as
varied ideas are there, varied ideas are there, but I wanted to know one thing. Only one thing I was thinking in terms.
Can be used as
Yes, main
model
verbs.
auxiliary cannot.
Models cannot be used as main verbs.
Verb is
Main
possible.
verbs.
Is also the primary auxiliary.
So it is
Yes,
as main verb.
can be used as main verb.
Okay,
But
okay.
I cannot use can, may, and for.
Yes, main
You are
verb.
right. But many differences you have said, in all are correct in your own way. But my question, I wanted to.
Primary auxiliary can work as main verb also.
Yes, sir.
He is a
Models
man.
cannot be used as main verb.
Be,
That is
do and
said.
have.
Somebody said it. Somebody said
Be,
it.
do and have, these are primary auxiliary verbs. And these verbs can form sentences independently.
Yes, sir. But I am concerned with the contextual difference I want. People are dwelling on the forms and uses of primary and models. I want to know contextually how they differ in use.
Models gives the attitude, attitude, ability,
Now you have touched the point, you have touched the point. I want to, she said one point, that models express attitudes. Okay, very good, very good. You think more, even beyond that, you will find that primary auxiliaries used in tenses express only the things, only the actions actually happened in external world. And models help us to express whatever take place in our heart and mind. Is it not so? You just think beyond.
Yes, sir.
Mode or manner of it.
Yes, sir. It is there.
It is very much clear. And without using any big term that confuses the child, you can tell them like that. Because language is the medium of expression, so tenses help us. Tense forms help us only to describe something that actually took place in the external world, and models help us to express what we feel, we think, and our attitude, our ways of thinking, like that. Okay, that way. There are many things I want to cover, but time is, I think, so okay. So these forms, these mistakes are students are doing. Prepositions. Preposition mistakes are doing certainly. That is the most mistaken part of them. Most mistaken. We teachers also sometimes do it. Okay.
Nobody has got command over
Yes,
preposition.
yes. Nobody knows everything. All right, right. Determinants. Determinants. Determinants mistakes certainly sometimes. They make mistakes on the use of determinants. I have to hurry through now. Yeah, examination specifications, some just we have to read it and we have to come to a close. When you are evaluating or setting question papers, certainly you have to keep these things in your mind. Teaching grammar in context and naturalism, somebody said in the very beginning, so that from me, when teaching grammar is in context and naturalism, certainly when you are setting question paper, you have to create context, create situation. It should not be given in isolation. Fill in the blanks is also given, and fill in the blanks like there is just questions. There is nothing to say and discuss. And when reordering of sentences comes, omission and editing comes, and one thing, editing and omission. Editing, as I have observed, children feel the difficulty, much difficulty, more difficulty in editing.
Omission.
Omission and editing.
Yes, yes.
Both, huh? So please think on this topic, how to make it easy. Okay, there is no time. Sometimes we would again come to this point if we have time. Sentence completion comes and heading forms. Okay, heading forms. That is the main problem with the students when they come to 11th and 12th classes. There is so much use of heading form and sentence form, but they don't know. They, in spite of different instructions, exercises, they still lack in that exercise. So I would like to make an appeal to you people that let them know what is the heading form and how to expand these headings into full sentence form. Let them know the difference between heading form and sentence form. Heading form, to remind you that heading form is incomplete sentence form.
Yes.
Without helping verb, without sometimes prepositions. A few prepositions where there is much requirement only there. No determiner, something like that. Only subject and verb are essentially to be taken in the heading, otherwise rest of the portions can be eliminated in the sentence that is the heading.
Grammatically incomplete.
Grammatically incomplete, but expressing the meaning. Okay. Heading forms, expanding heading into reports. Next, I think that is the thank you. Yes. Anything I wanted you people now, that if you need anything to be discussed in this relation, I gave one session yesterday on writing and another on grammar. If you need anything to be discussed here, to share with all of us, you can raise questions even afterwards when I am available here for giving discussion, raising discussion with you people.
Thank you.
Thank you.